Upon further inspection with all this taped up and wiredness is, well, don't let friends wire drunk. Hey Joey, what are we doing?
I don't know yet. It's too early to tell.
Too early to tell. So what are we looking at here?
$10.
Sorry guys, we got a yard sale going on. So what are we? All right. Joey's making this difficult, so hold that thought.
All right, what's up, guys? Big Joe here, Driven Daily Garage. We are attempting attempt number 496 of the day to install trim tabs on the boat. We have no idea what we're doing. We're gonna attempt to follow the instructions to the best of our abilities. I assume at some point we'll probably throw them away and just wing it and just screw, glue, and tattoo it and call it a day. It's gonna be, this video will probably end up being 20 minutes long, but reality, it probably took us probably 10 hours to install these. So we're gonna get after it.
All right, Joey, so what do we got? You guys are just now finding out that we've had this boat. We've had this boat for like umpteen years because it broke, and then we fixed it, and then it broke, and then we fixed it, and we're now like $2,500 into this boat, which is still a really good deal. But let's go over it again and just tell them what we got.
Well, we got a 2001 188 bow rider made by Caravel. Got the 4.3 liter Merc Cruiser, inboard, outboard. Good fixed with it. When we're fully loaded down, it doesn't like to plow through the water as we would like it to, which is why we bought these Nauticus trim tabs that we're going to install today. We're just going to have to see how they work. Nothing else. It was like 120 bucks, and if it didn't work, then it was just 120 bucks. We can make it up.
So these trim tabs here, guys, this is what we're looking at. So they're made by Nauticus. We did a little bit of research right offhand, and basically this is what the box comes with. So this screws to the boat, which screws into these, and then you take and put these, which are, I believe Nauticus's website told us we needed 60 pounds. So each one of these struts is 60 pounds of force to help push down the tab in the water. So basically the theory behind this is the tab will go right here, and as you take off and push through the water, as the water pressure pushes up on the tab will push back down on the boat, which will help with the trim of the boat. It will help push the nose of the boat down, and it'll help try and stabilize so you don't get so much of the porpoising, which is where the nose just goes like this and just bounces in the water. Some of that is fixed with the trim. Some of the boats are too small for the body of water that they're technically in. Sometimes when the water gets a little rough and your boats are a little small. This boat here is 18 foot 8 inches. And so being just shy of 19 feet, 8 feet wide, it doesn't like some of the, when we get into some of the bigger bodies of the lake. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna get these installed, and we're gonna see what happens. All right, guys, so we decided we're a bit sissies. We're not really gonna have enough time for the silicone to dry 100% before we get out on the water, and we don't have the right size drill bits. And Joey makes a valid point that we're more shade tree mechanics, and boats are different than cars, and we don't want to put holes in something and do it wrong and then us go down with the ship. So remember at the beginning when we first started this, one of our first videos with the Fox body, we said there's things that we'll do and there's things that we won't do. This is going to be one of those things that we won't do. So we're going to move on to our next task for the day, which is navigational lights. For some reason, the navigational lights on this here boat, the front lights don't want to work. The back lights do. So we're gonna see what's going on there. So hey guys, what's up? So it's been a while. As you can see, the boat is in a different location. We had some personal stuff come up with Joey, so we put the video on hold for a minute, but let's get back into it. We got to try and get this boat ready so that we can try and take it out on the water and not have to rush back before it gets dark. And one of the things we'll have to do in order to make that happen is the navigational light here on the bow does not work. When we flip the switch on the dash, the dash lights come on, the anchor light comes on the stern of the boat, so we know that the switch itself is working and that everything's getting power. So let's see if we can figure out if it's just the bulb is burnt out up here or what it is. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to take this little bitty bow navigational light off, and we're going to upgrade it for one that claims it's visible from 40 feet or roughly 12 meters. So I don't know if that's really any better than what's on it. We'll eventually upgrade it all, but for right now we've got to just get something working. It's almost 4th of July and we want to try and get it out so we can watch the fireworks on the lake. So let's get started on that. We might have to take a couple of breaks. I am at work and I never know when somebody's going to pull up, so let's see what we can come up with before that happens. Alright guys, I got you pulled here off of the stand so you can see. So obviously didn't take much to figure out why the light itself isn't working. I mean, obviously the bulb being exploded is going to be the biggest problem there, but let's see if we can figure out why they have the socket. Looks like it's taped in here, so let's get a test light on it and see if we can figure out exactly what's happened. But stay tuned, we'll figure it out together. Okay guys, upon further inspection with all this taped up and wiredness is, well, don't let friends wire drunk, guys. This is such a safety hazard. Luckily on boats it's super low voltage and all of that, so it's not that big of a fire hazard, but it absolutely could be. As you see, this is what the light or the plug looked like underneath all of that, and that's what all that taped up nonsense looked like. As you can see, all of the tape here that they were using, and you can also see if I can get a good shot down in there. We don't need that piece. You can see how melted that is from the wiring being jacked up. So guys, do yourselves a favor. If you don't know how to wire, sorry, hang on. If you can't wire, you don't know how to wire, whatever, it's not that difficult to figure it out. Look up some videos, whatever. Never, ever, ever, ever wrap the wires up together and then tape them together. Never, ever splice using that method. That is a quick fix method if for some reason we were out on the water, that's all we had was some electrical tape, we had to get that navigational light fixed. Yes, we would have used that as a quick fix, but it would have never stayed that way. That is such a risk, such a fire hazard, and when you're out on a boat in the middle of the water, fires do happen and they're not fun, guys. All that would have taken was either a little bit of solder or a butt connector and it would have worked. Now luckily the wires still have power coming to them, so all I've got to do is splice those wires back together correctly and we'll get this new light hooked up and we should then have navigational lights. Also guys, this boat does have a full disconnect. We should do a quick walk around of this boat. We'll make a video about everything once I get it cleaned up. As you can see, storm got us a little bit, so it's a little dirty. We got to get it cleaned up. Also make a full list of how unperfect this perfect boat was that we were given. or not given, we traded for. We'll show you some things to look for when you're buying a boat, some things that like cars are things you should look for, but not as big of a deal. But without further ado, guys, let me put the camera down. We'll get that wire. All right, guys, so quick wiring 101. Basically, you just need to make the two wires join together. These are called butt splices, wire connectors. They're called several different things. I call them butt connectors. That's what I grew up knowing them as. So basically, you're gonna splice the two together using the butt connectors, using a pair of wire crimpers and cutters. Mine are all in one. My dad's done 12-volt stuff on cars since the 70s. That's his old pair. They still work really well. And then after you connect them together like that, then tape them up so that the water doesn't get in them as much. Once it's not so bright out here, I'll get a picture of the light working in the dark and add that into the video right here. But let's get this mounted to the boat, and then we'll move on to our next project. All right, guys, so as you can see, we've got the light done. Looks a lot nicer than this little bitty guy. So nice, got the chrome redone. As you can see, this is super oxidized, nice, clean. Eventually we will upgrade that to a nice fancy LED one that works better. It claims effective for only 40 feet, but guys, that's only 2 boat lengths basically, or at least basically 2 of these boat lengths. And I just feel like at night it's probably going to be brighter than that. I don't know. It's only a $15 light from Walmart. We just needed something quick to where it was there. It can't be any worse than what was on it when the factory light was working. So hopefully we've at least got something out of it. But again, tools that you're going to need to replace this out, just a regular screwdriver of some sort, a multimeter so that we could verify the wiring and make sure that the power was all working, butt connectors or a solder gun and some solder. I did not have a solder gun readily available, so I just didn't use it, or else we would have. Some electrical tape, and then obviously your splice pliers and all of that. Super easy job. The screws that were in the boat, the hole was 7/64, so we put 2 7/64 holes in it, stuck it down. I'm gonna get some just some clear silicone of some sort, just run a smooth bead right around the edge of it just to make sure, though it's not necessarily needed. Obviously no water's going to really get in there and cause too much of an issue splashing over the front of the boat. And if that light goes underwater, then obviously we have way bigger issues than does the light leak. So let's move on to the next project. Next up, we're still going to stay in the front of the boat. For some reason, this boat did not have the safety chains for down here. Yes, guys, I know the boat is not all the way up against the tongue. I let my mom decide to hook it up and tell me, yeah, it's all good to go, it's ready, go ahead and pull up out of the water. And as you can see, it clearly was not. But we're gonna stick on some safety chains, make sure that if in the case that the winch breaks, if that strap breaks, you got your chains to keep the boat on the trailer. So let's figure out which way this is gonna work. I've got one of these little links here that you can unscrew and slip the chain through, and then that'll be there. I also got an actual hook It just seemed like it might hold a little bit better. We'll figure out which one works better in our instance, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, it's got a little wet. Obviously, when we started doing the other video, some things happened. We got distracted, and so none of our stuff got picked up really, except for the camera equipment. So everything's a little wet, but as you can see here, we are looking at boat safety chain tie down 3/16. 12 links should be plenty long enough for us to do what we need to do. Got it at our local boat store. Super awesome, super friendly. They were a little backed up, so unfortunately they've not been able to help us fix the boat, but thankfully there was not we were able to get it fixed in the marina when it ended up having the issues. That was an absolute nightmare. You guys can look back at our previous video from where we introduced the boat to you guys. Again, the boat, we got it from trade from the Fox body. So if you guys haven't seen that, I'll try and figure out, we are still new to the whole YouTube thing, so I'll try and figure out how to put a link up in one of the corners of the screen, so you guys can go back and look at that if you haven't seen our video there. Quite comical. If you haven't seen it, I recommend you looking it up. But we're gonna get this cotter pin out of here, slip this into here, and then boom, that's another thing done. So that's as far as that goes there. You just hook it all up and it's safe. So we'll meet you at the back of the boat, back there at the stern, where we do our next projects. All right, guys, next up, the boat also did not have any transom straps, so it had nothing in the back of the boat holding the boat to the back of the trailer. The only thing the boat had on it when we got it, which apparently me and Joey like to live a little dangerously because we've towed the boat back and forth to the lake, which is about a 45-minute drive a couple of times now, and we never thought it was a good idea to do it until now. Don't ask me why. I guess like I said, I guess we just like to live dangerously. I don't know, maybe it's just something in us. Don't ask me. But again, got these transom straps from our local boat shop just down the street from me. These are super easy to install as well. Basically just like a ratchet strap. Let's see if we can figure this out here. There you go. So basically all you're going to do here, one hook there, one hook on the bottom of the trailer, and then you're going to pull these together. Just pull them down, and then boom, just like that, it's done. Wrap these up so that they don't drag the highway. Awesome. Then once you get done, you're at the water, you want to release them, just pull up on the tab and they pull straight through. So nothing super difficult, just a little bit more safety that obviously we didn't think about. So now we're safe. The boat's attached to the trailer. We don't have to worry about if we hit the brakes, somebody cuts us off, we hit a bump from some road construction where the road's uneven or anything like that. We're good to go. We just about have this thing ready for our next trip to the lake, guys. So hang in there.